We got two different knives we're going to be checking out today in this video. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we should have two very special knives, something out of the ordinary, something interesting, more on the premium end here, coming from our good friends over at Aurora Blades. There will be links to both of these down below in the description so you guys can check them out, prices, availability, and variants. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but it's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost, of course, highly appreciated. But without further ado, guys, we're checking out here debut in the channel the Kass brand. That's the first. We have M390 on the blade steel and titanium on the handle, and the model name is the Saladin. Okay, so let's check it out here without further ado. Should be a very elegant knife. The Kass brand. Again, never checked out this brand before. It should be more on the premium end of things. Bada bing, bada boom. Well, we have a nice little wrap here for the knife itself. That's looking nice. On here we have, it looks like, look at that, a Damascus, if I'm not getting it mistaken here. Damascus pocket clip. We have some additional hardware. Looks like maybe a filler tab, additional screw. We have a Kass branded wiping cloth as well. Some additional stickers, some flags, a skull there. Then we have an actual, hold on, right? This is kind of like a thicker plastic card here. Maybe like, there we go. Authenticity, little card there. It's got a metal complex himself riding a horse right there, if you would. And then, you know, the details about the knife there. And it looks like we have a little bit of a outline here of the knife itself. We'll see that in more detail. Let's just go ahead and see here what the Saladin is all about. It's a nice little wrap here. Interesting little take on a knife pouch, and bam, right there it is. Holy smokes, guys. Okay, so first impressions, it is a little bit on the smaller side, I want to say. It's kind of like a medium sized knife. Let's go ahead and remove this little contact breaker here for the pocket clip and handle. Yeah, we don't need that. Very clean on the show side. It almost looks like we have a titanium inlay on the titanium handle. That's an interesting design there. On the opposite end, same thing, titanium all around, titanium pocket clip. Looks like we may have, I wanted to say proprietary hardware, but it looks like you could just use a flathead there if you wanted to. Me personally, I still would have preferred, you know, a T8, a T10, something like that. But, you know, you don't see a pivot on the show side. So that's, again, points there for how clean that looks. Got some interesting design there on the thumb studs. Very unique indeed. We got the Kass branding on the blade. It looks like it's going to be a front flipper and thumb stud deployment knife. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and send it. Here we go. Bam. Oof. My goodness. All right. Let's definitely get the blade police out here, because when they are done arresting Metal Complex, we need to find out what's going on here. We have a little bit of a drop point, clip point blend with a dual ground, but not quite, because the whole thing is a flat grind. But we have a little bit of a tanto with a little bit of a recurve. Yeah, that's going to be, that's your homework right there. Let me know in the comments, what would you classify this blade as? I'm going to go with clip point, recurve tanto. That's my best guess right there, but I would love to hear you guys' inputs. Looks like we have a liner lock. The I want to say again, it looks like titanium inlays on titanium handles, which is very interesting. How can we possibly confirm that theory? Well, here we go. Yep. I'm not too far from the truth. There are the titanium liners, and here are the titanium inlays. There you go. It definitely gave me those vibes, and that's exactly what we have going on there. Play around with it a little bit here. Thumb stud deployment feels good. Oh yeah, that's nice and solid there. Reverse flick. I'm using the meat of the middle finger. There we go. Don't have a ton of room to get at it with the nail. Yeah, the nail's going to be a no-go. And we do have a tiny bit of a stronger detent, I'll tell you what. So thumb stud and meat of the middle finger for that reverse flick. And of course we got the front flipper with good jimping here in the front, and also a tiny bit of jimping towards the back. It definitely wraps around a tad bit, so that's good. And here we go, front flipper. Oof, that is nice. Very nice front flipper. Love to see that. We do have an internal track here for an internal stop milled on both sides of the handle. It doesn't give me ball bearing vibes, and I'm seeing what could look like bronze washers right there, perhaps. So it definitely gives me more of a washer sort of vibe than anything else. We have a nice titanium backspacer, and check out the lanyard solution right here. The way they pulled it off with the backspacer going through the middle, right? That's going to be your hole, nice and tucked away back there, very clean. And now, of course, for the ergos, I mean, it is going to be a full 4-finger grip, maybe to get a full purchase, and I can forward choke a tad bit Right here we have somewhat of a finger choil, right? That's functional. We can definitely work with that. It helps a lot that all the edges, right, are nice and contour all the way around on both sides. Even the pocket clip is very, very comfortable. Solid 9.5 out of 10 right there. Not too tall. Looks like it has a good design to go in and out of the pocket without any issues. I like how the stress relief cutout is on the inside in between the handle and this titanium inlay. So nothing else will be getting in the way. That's pretty sweet. And it's got a little bit of a shake shutter, right? Maybe once it breaks in a little bit, those washers will become more of a drop shot. There's a little bit of a shake shot right now. Loving the acoustics too. That sounds very, very nice. There to say the least. Oof, that front flipper though. That is money.
Money!
Yeah, that is really, really nice. Are there any details in here we're probably missing? Just a very straightforward design. Some milling on both sides, right, of the titanium liners. Good access to the liner here from the show side. Steel insert for steel on steel contact, and about a 50-ish% or so engagement. You guys be the judge there. But yeah, the Saladin making a good impression here. Kass brand making a debut in the channel. Looking nice. I mean, that is an elegant knife right there. If you pull this out of your pocket, I would be like, okay, that's a pretty dope little knife right there. Very unique. Don't see, right, designs like this or this kind of geometry all that often. I mean, clip point, recurve tanto, that's pretty solid for sure. Let's go ahead and check out the other one here. So we said it was this is a 2-in-1, right, type of video. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Ooh, man. All right, this right here is probably gonna steal the show because we have something special here. We got something special. Last time we checked out a ZYACK knife, ZYAC. I want to say the Z01 was very interesting with a stretching handle. Now it looks like he's doing a take on a karambit here, which has some tricks up its sleeve based on what I've seen so far. For starters, let's just do a quick run around. We have some diamond pattern right here towards the bolster, right? Different, just kind of plain titanium here towards the back. Same thing on the other side. It's going to be a frame lock, sort of like bolster lock, whichever one rocks your boat. And what the heck is going on here? My OCD brain just wants to press here. And are these some wings or something? Or do we have pocket clips on both sides? Is that how we're solving for a reversible pocket clip, as we put a pocket clip on both sides? I mean, that could work. That absolutely could work. So we're going to see more of what that is in just a moment. Interesting, very nice design on the back spacer there. That looks dope. We have, of course, a karambit with a karambit ring. If I'm not mistaken, something happens with this ring. I think it can be removed, so we'll check that out in a moment. We have thumb studs on both sides. Looks like we have an Emerson little deployment, right? Little system here, little unicorn. And we can also do a front flipper deployment also. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get it sent here, right? Boom, there we go. What are we looking at geometry-wise? Well, surprisingly, it doesn't have a recurve. It's actually a straight edge, straight line, flat grind, sheep's foot sort of geometry here. Didn't get any other paperwork in the box, so we also have some pretty clean billboarding. So future me, check on their site and put that steel on the screen. I almost missed the opening hole too. So we got thumb studs, we have opening hole, we even have a fuller, we have an Emerson deployment, we have a front flipper. I think the only thing we're missing for the, to throw the kitchen sink and then some at all deployment methods possible would have been a back flipper, but we don't have that. So like we said, it's a frame lock. Okay, nice and easy on the close. I'm just kind of play around with it a little bit here, getting a feel for it. Okay, thumb stud is also good. Reverse flick. Oh, that is nice. And I'm actually using the nail. Check that out. Something I do like a ton is how these thumb studs, they actually raised up quite a bit. So pretty solid there. Can I use the opening hole? The answer is yes. I can do that too. I'm going to try using the fuller. The answer is yes. I can use that as well. So check, check, and check. That's crazy. And of course, if you had, like out of your jeans or something, right, you could do a little Emerson deployment off of this little unicorn section there. So very interesting as far as getting this thing deployed in multiple ways. We don't have a ton of access from the show side, but it's kind of pretty wide apart. You can push it down into the left to disengage. We do have a steel insert for steel on steel deployment on the lock bar there. And we have about, what is that, maybe very minimal engagement, right? Obviously it's gonna break in more and more over time, maybe like a 5%-ish All right, you guys be the judge. Maybe if I open it a little bit harder here, it might engage a little bit more. There we go. That's more like it. 10-ish% or so. Now it's going to be really good for utilitarian cuts, like draw cuts, utility cuts. I want to get a feel for the grip here. So with the ring here in my index finger, Friday night gas station fighting grip feels good. If I do maybe pinky in the ring, this also feels pretty good there. Kind of locked up here behind the sort of Emerson unicorn situation going on there. Check that out. The ring itself even has a little bit of a milling, crown milling going on throughout. Now I can tell you from experience, the reverse grip is not going to feel good on a karambit like this with a ring, and the Pakol grip is also not going to feel pretty good. As a matter of fact, your palm is going to be right against the edge pretty much, so don't do that. So you want to go either pinky in the ring or index finger in the ring, and you're good to go there. Now there is something special about this one. I feel like gotta put the password somewhere. I think it might have to do with what we discovered earlier here, pressing on these little flaps, which again, my suspicion is that works as your pocket clip on either side, since I don't see a pocket clip anywhere. But I want to say, drum roll please, I want to say the ring itself is removable. If you wanted to, you can remove the ring. How we do that, that's the secret sauce. So hopefully I don't have to watch a tutorial on how to do that, but I'm not entirely sure. Whoa, hold on a second. This is kind of like, you know, hold on. There's like a little movement going on here.
A few moments later.
It's kind of like figuring out a puzzle here. I love knives like these. You push down on here. Would that do it? Oh, oh, all right, check that out. Okay, that is pretty crazy there. We just removed the ring. Basically comes with the, I was going to say the whole entire back spacer, but no, it's actually a whole different layer that goes underneath the back spacer there. It has like a channel, right? You can see the whole channel right there. It's exactly right where the whole sort of, I want to call it bar here, attached to the karambit ring goes into. So let's just kind of check that out here a little bit closer. That goes all the way in through there. And then we got these little tiny pins on both sides. So those are going to click in place, I'm sure. There we go. So you hear that nice satisfying pop. That is locked solid, no movement side to side of any kind. And then if we needed to remove it, again, it's just pressing down and out, right? Press down and pushing out like this. You can remove it. And bam, you got a basically a non-karambit folding knife here with all the perks that we just talked about. So a little bit of a 4-finger grip on it, hammer grip here. Now we can send it with a reverse grip, no issues. Can even go Pakol grip, I want to say, sorta. Friday night gas station grip is good. Again, you can do a little bit of a different grip if you don't have the ring to worry about. So the option is yours. I mean, that's kind of what I find that ZYACKNIVES are all about. Just kind of doing something out of the box, engineering a little bit, right? Aside from all the boring, same old knives that we see all the time with all the same designs. And I want to say, I think I just saw here, this is the little channel. If I can get some light in here, this will be great. Yeah, there you go. That's the little channel right here. That little notch right there, that's where this little pin on both sides, so not necessarily a pin, but nice little bar cutout is going to click into on both sides of the inner handle there, if you would. Again, a lot going on with this knife. Very, very interesting design here, to say the least. Right here, click in place. I like that it has no movement. Once you click it in place, it's a very snug, no movement side to side, up and down of any kind, just solid in place. So I have to take a pause here and just check the website. I guess we're calling this an impact spike, so I'm not sure exactly how you would use it. As an impact spike, it is full titanium. It's pretty lightweight. I can see you using it as maybe a pry bar. It definitely has that perspective. I'm thinking, you know, in the impact spike end of things, maybe it's a self-defense sort of approach, which again, I am not the expert of in any way, shape, or form. But I do like the cohesiveness of how it all becomes one design. So it's one of those things, nice to have and not need. This whole thing could have been just one solid piece, and you know, you could have not worried about that at all. But the fact that they added some additional functionality and feature where other knives don't have is something unique, right? Definitely credit where credit is due. They're trying something different, something out of the ordinary, without a doubt. So give them credit there. I mean, if there's one thing that really stands out is the milling here, the machining. You know, the back spine looks really rad. The diamond pattern looks pretty good. It's a smaller design here. It kind of gets a little bit wider, all kind of going at an angle or a curvature, if you would. Nice little cutout on both sides for accessing the thumb for deployment, right? The fact that however you want to deploy this knife, whatever method you choose, right, you got the options. The Emerson little unicorn is not, you know, solid. You can remove it if you want to, depending on your preferences. T8 on the hardware on both thumb studs if you want to do that, right? That's a pretty easy mod you can do there. But yeah, plenty of deployment options. Very excellent build. They said going for a Hawksbill inspired karambit, which again, I can see it, except you don't have a recurve blade. You just have a straight edge or straight line edge here with a flat grind. So still my kind of geometry all day. And as a matter of fact, this is much easier to sharpen when the time comes as compared to a Hawksbill or a recurve blade for that matter. So I'm definitely here for it. I think, you know, along with the impact spike and the pocket clip situation on both sides, I think it definitely makes it a very unique knife through and through. Now, the deepest it'll sit in the pocket perhaps is going to be about that much. So that's what it will look like without the ring. And if you put the ring in, right, it's going to stick about that much out of the pocket. So that's definitely a knife that's not going to sit completely concealed or deep carry at all. Something to keep in mind. But for what it's worth, I mean, it's definitely a pretty cool knife to have in your collection, that's for sure. Something out of the ordinary, something that doesn't, you know, check the regular boxes that every other knife does out there, especially these days when we're seeing so many run-of-the-mill knife designs one after another. So two very interesting knives from Aurora Blades. Again, we got the Zok Z02, and we got the Saladin from Kass Saladin. Let me know which one's your favorite from these two. I'll have them linked down below so you guys can check them out. Prices, availability, and variants. And it does help out the channel when you use those links, but it's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. Check out this video YouTube recommends to the left or this video I recommend to the right. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me until the end. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace!